Let's be honest, darling. Most zombie flicks are about guts and groans. But a masterpiece is about a little more substance, like a fine wine or a particularly exquisite leather bag. We're talking about George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead, 1978, the ultimate shopping spree that really bites. Hello, darlings, and welcome back to Dead Curious, episode 13. The number of bad luck, broken circles, and things that refuse to stay dead. I'm your host, Vyxen Storm, and today we're not just running from the undead. We're dissecting them to learn a secret trick for any aspiring horror writer. And stay with me till the end, loves, because I've got a social horror cheat sheet waiting just for you. A little writer's survival guide inspired by Romero's bloody brilliance. When Dawn of the Dead shambled onto the scene, it didn't just cement the modern zombie. It used the genre as a Trojan horse for social commentary. Romero gave us a world where the living were almost as terrifyingly chaotic as the dead. The premise? 4 survivors, 2 SWAT officers, a traffic reporter, and his pregnant girlfriend escape the initial collapse and hole up in the most American place imaginable. A massive suburban shopping mall. Now, why a mall? That's the first lesson in writing social horror. Choose a setting that already carries cultural weight. The mall isn't just a fortress, it's a monument to consumerism. And soon the zombies are drawn back to it by a primal, familiar urge. It's like they have a loyalty card for death. The genius of this film, the secret to its masterpiece status, isn't just the gore, it's the satire. Romero didn't just want you scared. He wanted you to think, wait, am I the zombie? Lesson 2. The monster must mirror society's flaws. The undead are literally programmed by their past habits. They wander the aisles, mindlessly shopping, taking in the sights, or riding the escalator. They're the terrifying, rotting mirror of the average American consumer. When the survivors, led by the wonderfully resourceful Peter, clear the mall and begin to indulge, stealing jewelry, gorging on food, playing arcade games, they briefly become the living dead. They are just as complacent, just as absorbed by stuff as the ghouls outside the barricades. This is where the humor turns bitingly dark. Take Peter's iconic line, "They're us, that's all. There's no more room in hell." It's not pity, it's recognition. The characters aren't fighting evil. They're fighting an exaggerated, infectious version of their own society's materialistic emptiness. Writers, remember, the most enduring horror stories aren't about what might happen. They're about what is already happening. Use your monsters not just to scare, but to critique. Give your audience something to chew on besides flesh. A great social horror story needs more than a clever metaphor. It needs characters we care about, and who fail to learn the lesson. Lesson 3. The real threat comes from the living. For a while, the survivors have it all. Endless supplies, a safe haven, even a bit of fun. Well, actually a lot of it. But this is horror, darling, and complacency is a deadly sin. The introduction of the biker gang late in the film is crucial. They aren't trying to survive, they're trying to plunder and dominate. They shatter the survivors' fragile, materialistic peace, reminding us that the dead are simple. It's the living who ruin everything. This drives the final, desperate act. The survivors are forced to abandon their comfortable but doomed haven. They realized that their perfect mall life was just a slow, pretty death sentence, a distraction, while the world decayed outside. Notice how the film doesn't offer a clean resolution. Francine and Peter barely escape, leaving behind Stephen, who turns into one of the mindless things they tried to escape. And that brings us to the final, brutal lesson. Don't give your audience an easy out. A masterpiece shows that the societal disease is still incurable. The ending isn't triumph, it's survival, a frantic, barely there escape, while the true horror, the unstoppable plague of consumerism, continues. So, my darling aspiring horror writers, if you want to craft your own cult classic, here's your social horror cheat sheet. Your step-by-step guide to writing a story that bites back. Select a social flaw: greed, racism, technology addiction, whatever's rotten in your world. Create a monster or threat that embodies it. Make your creature a literal metaphor for that flaw. Use a culturally potent setting. Place your story somewhere that amplifies the theme: a mall, a gated community, or even a movie theater. Force the living to confront their reflection. Make your characters succumb to the same temptations as the monster. Leave the social horror unresolved. Don't cure society. Let a few souls escape while the sickness spreads. Follow these steps, and you won't just write a zombie movie. You'll write a blood-soaked social commentary. A perfect, fleshy bite of truth. Do you agree that the mall is the perfect horror setting? Where would you hole up in the zombie apocalypse? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me for more delectable dissections of cinema's darkest secrets. Goodbye, darlings, and as always, stay curious, stay scared.